Okay. I'll be gone, Natsume, Miku. Natsume. I only know another character named Natsume. From an anime. I think the anime is called Natsume something. I don't recall Natsume? I don't remember. That is the crime scene? So it is where it happened. Fire Road. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. Policemen. Look at the regulation and metal hammers is unmistakable. The man of Scotland Yard are here. Investigating as we speak. That is their job, you know? But, Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes is priceless. They're often depicted at the bench of Sherlock Holmes, and I dream I'll never come to these close. For a real Bobby helmet. What? The helmet? Yeah, Bobby. The hair? Of course. Wait, what? I hope your hearty dreams come true. Oh, Rexon. What's the Japanese delegation doing here? Oh, Inspector Gregson. With your chips. Is he on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware? Yes, of course. We are here to investigate. You'll be into the holding cells then. What do you make of the criminal? Lost cause. He's not a criminal, as you put in, Inspector. He's a suspect. Well, we see about that. We just like to stick together, I suppose. Well, don't blame them to do that. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happened, and the vote is foregone conclusion. The stone cold air of rejection. Take heart, London at the time of the year is full of stone cold air. That makes it worse somehow. You say so? Do I simply converse or do I need to examine? Scotland Yard! Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about the adventure of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place. The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere. Word, man. You say so. And you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet. You're gonna ask him? It does make them look at the part, seeing the policeman guy with a helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no sense in his duty. Self-protective. That's it. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh yash, doesn't he look wonderful? PR London, Bobby is harder going, I can tell you. Oh really? First thing in the morning, you know what he does. Goes around and rules all hours of his beat, so they can get off to work. What? He wakes up people up? Yep, raps on their windows with a long pole, I did it myself, going back a bit. I had no idea. The Bobby works for the people of the town, it's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tireless patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day, that's the regulation distance. Can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. It's a little bit less than a marathon, right? Let me see. 20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama. On foot, that's definitely taking things a step too far. And when he gets dark, of course, he has that important job of lighting all the gas street lamps. Oh, that's interesting. That is actually interesting. That makes sense, I guess. I suppose if between all those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well. Chase after criminals trying to evade the law. I'm not sure you call it between exactly. All alongside, but yes. Expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit. I always dream of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But with a heavy heart that I shall have relinquished the dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Your heavy heart will be heavy head if you do. It happened at around 5 in the evening, 2 days ago, just there on the opening bit of pavement. The victims, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. And right, the lady is still unconscious now. You mentioned that she's being treated in the hospital. I said she was a lady. Plus, through these, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we wouldn't be able to find out about her at all. I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her. Of course. Here's a map of the local area. Happy to have on me. You can take it if you want it. Really? Oh, sure. Are you sure? It's our policy to give lawyers defending suspect the odds a bit of information to know. I'm not sure I accept the job yet, but still. Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept this. Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim, your fellow countryman. So who did it? You think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present. I'm sorry to have to tell you, but most certainly can be sure. What? How? Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. It what? Yeah, two reliable witnesses, no less. It was a typical foggy London day. Your kind obviously didn't see them. You're a witness now? Fudge. Okay, who are these witnesses, Inspector? A fellow and his wife, and the man one of the most reliable, respected citizens in all of London. He's a copper from Scotland Yard. Oh, a copper? A policeman? That's might change things. And his policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked. Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part of the past of being a Bobby, catching them bag and out all that. Do you think it might be possible for us to ask the policeman? Have you questioned? Good question. Be my guess. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow. Oh, so no. I have no doubt he will be summoned as a witness. That will give you something to look forward to. Thus then, you got no intention of letting us to meet the man beforehand, it seems. Policeman witnessed the incident. Your judicial assistant must warn you that it is could make our job very difficult indeed. Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector. What? First I will add you to the suspect. I hear there was Mr. Haller Scholes. What are you bringing him up for? Was it something I said? The color has drained from his cheeks. His cheeks? What happened to Scholes? Who did you hear that name from? Oh well, it was Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Scholes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. It only was a result of one Mr. Scholes' special a great deduction. Fiddle fellow. What? Ugh. That man is an amateur. I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. Huh? I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turned up at the scene of the crime. Wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish before you know it. He claims he's have solved the mystery. He's quite astounding, isn't he? He's a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he? Gibble gabble. Gibble gabble? Ever seen these before? Oh yes, that's Rand's magazine. Wonderful publication we should have ended. Hello, Shelms appears. Okay. Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees to feat includes several of the Yard detective in its stories. A so-called the Great Detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Holmes tale at all. Well, I suppose there is an element of that. We work our shock house, every one of us, only to be framed by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man is a danger to us at Scotland Yard, as he is to all our criminals. That can be really true, can he, Inspector? Clearly, the great detective and police have a complex relationship. Okay. That future Japanese bloke goes on the trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not? Well, makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer worth his soul to touch that case with a barge pole. Because the persecution is being handled by the Reaper, isn't it, you mean? There is no way to save the man now. It is a waste of time, right? It is all a bit strange though. Sorry? The Reaper, he hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now. Yes, we did hear something to that effect. And the only people he usually barges with are real scum, the master criminals, the violent ones. What's the criminals? The violent ones? Ah, that's right. He handpicks his victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to gallows for their sins. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely. Here's my point, Sunshine. The young woman was stabbed, but didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the time was there. No, this isn't the sort of case I would expect the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, or what of better phrase. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's got to be more to it. Some reason he's taking an interest. Really? What sort of weird reason, Inspector? You think I can't tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. I'm really going to have to face the Reaper again. Lord of Darkness, as he put it? Lord of Darkness? Well, I don't think we're going to get any more usable information now. Yeah. Let's move on, I guess. Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Oh yes, what is it? It seems to me that we must speak with him about this. Him? You mean Sherlock? Sherlock. Well, you know what I mean. Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, exactly. Oh, those shiny eyes, you can't wait. On 21st Bakery Street. My Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of these, did he? Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him involved party in the case. I'm just going to ignore that, I hope. I assure it's not simple my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. The trouble is, I have no idea the man's address even. The Baker Street? Of course I knew it. 21st Baker Street, if I'm not wrong. Or 221, I don't remember. How do you know that? It's on the book! The store is 221 B Bakery Street. The most famous address in the world. Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. Better try to find our way there before Susato gets any more excited and unpredictable. Hooray! I summon a carriage. So we have a reunion already with the great detective, Mr. Sholmes. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the information. Very kind of you. Logistic. Oh, animation too? That's lovely.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day. Thanks again. This is it. The residence of Mr. Sherlock Sholmes.
Messy as I imagine. So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. Notice the violin. This is describing the story, Miss Susato. Susato-san? Look how happy she is. Many famous cases have been solved here, in this very room. Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I read the story, so it's hard to get quite excited about as she seems to be. The detective chases the villain, relentless as it is a in the fall, down and down late London street. The thrill of it, the romanticism. Can you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, I see. Suppose I can. Yes. So if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. Please don't mind me. Okay, she's obsessed. She's a fangirl. Yeah. Well, looks like our detective friend isn't home at the present. Excuse me, is anybody home? Now that we have a visitor. You! Hello, it's a big new case for Mr. Sholmes. Oh, hello? Lolly? Wait, Lolly girl? Aren't you? Oh, how rude of me. I'm gonna make some tea at once. I'm sure it's the same girl, yeah. Mrs. O, do you see the girl who was just here? Oh yes, isn't truly extraordinary. To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room, asked Mr. Sholmes to take his own this case. Bohemian? The King of Bavaria? Where? King Wilhelm got to stretch Sigismund von Ormensten, of course. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the eventual hello shows for a moment and look over there. Ah. He is brilliant. A freshly baked cake as well. Ah, it's you. Ah, it's you. It is to start to recognize her too. Now we're gonna do a flashback. Ah, there you are, you little thief. Take it there with you as well. Renault launcher. Yeah, bazooka. We got it. It's the girl who turned out the end of Mr. McGilded trial in the defendant's antechamber. I never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Oh, you. Having to get straight to work when you are only just arriving in London. Yes, it was challenging. Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know. Thank you. That is supposed to look that color. That color? What color? Oh, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. Hooray! It's a winner. Try blending the different leaves designed to alleviate the fatigue, you see. Must be exhausted after your long voyages. Here, have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, you are to defend the Japanese man. I do wish you also lots of luck. Did Mr. Schultz tell you about us, by any chance? Oh, you know Hurley, do you? Hurley? Hurley? Mr. Schultz, to you, sir, surely. Mr. Schultz was a fellow passenger of the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see. Was he really? Well, I have no idea. I'm afraid Hurley out of errands again today, although he's just returned from overseas. Yeah, it's like 2 days ago, right? Wait a minute. I met this girl for the first time ever yesterday, after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Indeed. Did she deduce all those things to you, do you think? And perhaps more to the point. Why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suit? Sweet suit. Silly me, have introduced myself, have I? T-posing. It's a great pleasure to meet you, both. She's Wilson. My name is Iris Wilson, aka Watson. I live here together with Hurley. Iris, is it? What a lovely name. What? What's the matter? No, wait. This can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson? What's the matter with this Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? Yes, that's right. What are your names? Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan. Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo, assistant Susato Mikoto. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely, Susie and Runo. Got it? Susie? Runo? There's one of these girls I missed out. I don't know many questions for her. I don't know where to start. She's Watson, basically. Well, yeah, Watson. Dr. Watson, yes, and so do I. Or Engineer Watson. So many things. Oh damn, it's a completely different room. There's my black board where I note down ideas. Oh, interesting, let's see. Black Peter? What does that mean? Actually, no, I'm not familiar with it. I want to hear what the Iris has to say, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll come back to the black board later. Black Peter? I've seen pictures of Western musical instruments like this. It's called a violin, isn't it? Of course it is. Mr. Sholmes is renowned for his violin playing. Oh, really? Absolutely. He's often explained the stories too. It's inspirational, Mr. Naruhodo. Inspirational. I immediately started playing the koto, which was the closest Japanese stringed instrument I could find. Not a shame you're gonna bring it with you in London. Oh yes. Well, Papa was beaming when I asked him if he would buy me one. But after a while, he asked if I would only practice when he was out of the house. So now he's merely an old man in my room. Must be an awkward conversation. Second-rate strings. Let's talk. Iris. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? The old lady. Ah, yes, it's right. You were very helpful. Thank you so much. Oh, no, not at all. I'm sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. But at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us. Gun? That is a gun? Like this? Go. I think in back now. You left with Mr. Lestrada now. Lestrade? Isn't the detective? Oh yes, the awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. Oh, Jeannie. He's a professional pickpocket. So we found out. It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that. Are you referring to that trial disrupting gun like a contraption? Exactly, so I follow her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in his invention. This guy is dangerous. Yes. Anyway, I brought Jeannie back here after that, and she could apologize to my trusty technician. Who is? Sorry, your technician? Hurley, of course. Silly. Hurley? Yes, hello, Sholmes. We live here together. An idea, great that you had such an interesting young daughter. Daughter? Not likely. What? What? I'd call him Hurley if he was my father, wouldn't I? Well then, what is your relation with Mr. Sholmes? Assistant? According to the Bible, to the Conan Doyle history story, I expect you'll find out that lodging of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate. You are roommates? Now you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you? 10 at last. Oh god, I thought it was a trap, Lolita trap. Okay, well, what of your mother and father? She's 10. Oh no, they're not around. Oh, I see. Wonder what you mean by that. Yeah. She's 10? Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Wasn't she in Afghanistan? Wasn't she a doctor? Wasn't she a fucking... never mind. Soldier, of course. A doc. Go ahead, Susie. I'm a very great fan of the Adventure Hello shows. Oh, you have a copy of Rant's magazine. Rant's? Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. That's a long day. They say long day, long time. My stories are being read on the other side of the world. My stories? Oh, you should write it down. Yeah, that's true. That's right, Hurley's always solving such amazing cases, you see. He tells me all about them. They're really quite fascinating. Well, it would be such a shame if he was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think? Shame, God goodness. Conan hated the Sherlock, but yeah, that's good. Last night, he was telling all about the new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from faraway land. I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. So you are the author? Yes, I'll let you into the secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure the Spackler Band. The Spackler Band? That's certainly very familiar. Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories, here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, naturally. Yes, and of course I know that snake might not be credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but... It's a story, some poetic lines is justified to make it more thrilling, I think, don't you know? It's all fake, so do you mean to say... Are the stories about Mr. Sholmes published in Rand's magazine? Fiction! All written by me? Yes. I'm a wonderful and very modern handcraft. But all the story I've ever read! I've written by a doctor of medicine, the John H. Wilson. So that is getting more and more worked up. Ah yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. Are you a doctor too? But what about the doctor of medicine part? That's all true too. I'm a doctor of medicine. 10 years old? 10 years old. Well, that's quite incredible. An achievement. But, Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Ah yes. I altered the setting. Most likely, for the story to be more compelling. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if you say, oh, he's 10 years old. Well, it's not a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old going at all. Yes, it's a little bit strange. I suppose he does, yes. Peter. Poor Susato-san, she looks like her whole world has just fallen apart. Reality is often disappointing, I guess. But before... Yes. What's your mind, Bruno? Do tell me. But you know that I was a lawyer and we just arrived in London, I mean. Oh, they've already told her. Him, sorry. Yo, that difficult ride tomorrow, how do you know all that? You're very following me, huh? Oh, that's what you mean. Please tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted, although there's no really mystery. Let's begin. Oh, you gonna do it? Okay, now you look silly. Iris Wilson is proud to present the Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Oh, you're doing it? First of all, I knew already you were a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey to defend this antechamber. But you also said that we only just arrived in London. How do you know that? Passport? I also had a passport and a travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket. Oh, I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against a particular prosecutor, telling me that you were unaware of London court affairs. The rip of the Bailey. I walked right into that one, didn't I? And you noticed the ragging stamp at the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with the suspect, weren't you? Early today? Ah. They used those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see? And you realized that her stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Manuscript Gilbert, the two of you had already had a cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so they concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case. I see. But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow? Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. His obvious amused him. He told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bowling and trembling. A Japanese man? Well, clearly. Mr. Natsume. Now Runo has the fancy Japanese Ryunosuke. And I think our outfit is called kimono, isn't it, Susie? That is called assumption. But anyway, it's more clear to me that you both come from Japan like yourself. So I put two or two together and decided you must be defending a Japanese man earlier court. There was only one conclusion this fact could lead me to. You both came here and I to ask Hurley about the case. There's no on the mantelpiece. They say the man trial will be tomorrow. Hurley's always stabbing his nose with a knife, you know. He's a silly. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. Well done. Well, was it a winner? Were my deduction correct? They were spot on. It was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. You managed to say down something of Mr. Sean's delivery. Oh well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. It's really very good news. You'll tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please! Please! I feel like she can't refuse, right? Yo, yesterday Mr. Sean apprehended a Japanese man. So you were saying? Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his voyage. But the police were waiting for him to a railway station to take him directly to the crime scene. That's a great detective, is a popular man, it seems. Apparently a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking stuffed man running away. Oh, my bad. From the scene. I showed a shifty-looking stooped man. Mr. Natsume beyond any doubt. Sadly. So like his eyes that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. I think there were witnesses after all. But he used his great deductive powers to determine the man Agus. There's a lodging room very nearby. I went directly there with the police. And what did I find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man shivering in fear. Mr. Sean, great deduction, he hit the mark that time. Of course he did, he's a great detective. Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it? Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London's rife with crime. Oh? Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on the top, apparently. Oh dear, they realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating the case and trying to criminalize in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pined to the first suspicious person. Pinned. Pined. That's terrible. I suppose he saw a harsh variety of the works of the world's greatest justice system. I suppose it is. But in that case, wouldn't make it so great. No how much. Hope for Soseki-san. Poor Soseki-san. You're basically fudged. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. It's been very informative. Oh, you are most welcome. I've had so much fun. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? You guys would like to ask him some question about his case as well. Ah, well. I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene. Of the case involving Mr. Tsume, you mean? Yes, Mr. Natsume? May? Hurley said he was going to men's lodgings. If you leave now, you're probably catching him there. Iris, do you know where those lodgings are? Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? You happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson when you were there? So I'll have to ask the inspector. Yes, we know inspector. Well, good in that case. Give Greg cities from me, will you? If you do that, I'm sure he will tell you what you want to know. What is this? A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems. 5 shillings? Okay. It reads, tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that it won't be a problem. Gosh, this will make his battle help us, will it? Oh, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Good luck then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckle Band. I'll be making more special blends of tea. So come back and again soon. We'll be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruhodo is back to the scene of the crime. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna end the episode very soon. It appears somehow dubious, so they will accept any violence over a man of Scotland Yard too. And back to the scene with Iris' curious note, and well, where's the heaviest silver coins in hand? Heaviest. Death is a kind of bit. The auto read, yeah, okay. The auto read is like a little buggy, but okay. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna end the episode right now, right here. Wow, the investigation was so much shorter. It's kind of feel like a bit, surprised. It's kind of a little bit more, nicer, I guess. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, well, it's still an hour 13. Jesus Christ. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy. Have a lovely day. And we're gonna end, as usual, the episode. And catch you later then. Good love you, bye.
Objection!